Are we live? What we're going to do today is we talked about starting your own business, what type of things you should do on the beginning end of doing your logo, this, that, and the other, and all kind of the miscellaneous stuff. And we had a couple people question the value of credit, right?
Dun, 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 dun.
Me personally, I thought I would never need credit. If I want something, I'm going to pay for it cash. If I don't have enough money for it, I don't need it. I'll save up some money, and then whenever I have enough money, I'll buy it.
Until
right?
you knew that's not how it worked.
No, I was like, I want a big screen TV. I'm going to save up money. I'm going to go down to the pawn shop. I'm going to find me one for pennies.
That's how it works. You got a credit card with the limit, you get that television.
And that's how I'm going to do it. So I think until you start buying big ticket items, right? Now, I'm not talking about that used beat up car that you get for $1,000 from a family friend. I'm talking buying a house or trying to start a company. I mean, that's really when you need credit, right?
Wait, before we move forward,
Yeah.
let's introduce what we have here on the table.
So we have this young man.
That
What's your name?
That resembles Josh a lot.
I'm Justin Thompson, father and son.
So this is Justin Thompson, our new lab tech who's been working for a while now, and he's really been stepping up, really been doing a good job. But when we decided we were going to do this segment on credit, his name just popped into my head.
I don't get it.
I don't know why. It was just like, hey,
Do you know something we don't know?
we can have a segment about credit. And I got this perfect kid that's going through it right now. And Justin would be the man.
Dang, Justin, so what's happening right now?
Man, I promise you, if you get a credit card, make sure you're mature. If you're not mature enough, do not get a credit card. It's all lies. It's a scam. I'm spending every dime I have trying to pay off these credit cards.
Was it worth it?
No, it really wasn't.
Did you get anything cool?
I got Papa John's, Taco Bell, got me a watch, some earrings, and a whole bunch of interest.
Yeah.
Interest.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're just going to step this back. So
Interest is a real thing.
let's just look at it. What is credit? What is credit?
All right, sure. Credit is like
Credit is not debit.
facts, man.
It's the other button you hit at the register.
Yeah.
So there's debit and then there's credit.
Yeah. I tried to play stupid. It didn't work. She's like, sir, no, like, you got denied. I said, man, there's no way here. Try this credit card. Threw it on the table. Got denied again. Had to go home. Drive a shame.
Okay. So credit
Let's talk how you got there.
is
Money that you don't have,
money that you don't have
you're going to pay back.
that you're going to pay back. So it's a promise that I'm giving you something, a
Yeah.
credit line, a car, whatever, a home, in the anticipation of you paying me back that money over a window of time that we agree upon, right?
Yeah.
So let's step back to the very first time that you get credit is usually a credit card, right?
Yeah.
And what usually happens when your kid's 18 years old, usually there's all these applications in the mail that pop up that, oh, get a free credit card, oh, low APR.
No interest for a year.
Here's the Disney credit card.
That got
Here's
me
the Best Buy credit card or all the store cards. They basically want kids
To
to
ruin their
get
life.
credit.
Exactly.
And the credit company looks at it and goes, oh, yeah, this guy's trustworthy. We're gonna give him a credit line of $250, and we're going to charge him interest, and let's just see how it goes,
Yep.
right?
24% interest. You don't even know what that means.
So boom, you get a card in the mail. This little piece of plastic that is the ticket to the world.
Hey, but it's very shiny.
You can go anywhere, you can do anything, and you're flat broke. You don't have a dollar to your name, but you
Yep.
got this plastic card. And you go into places and you swipe it or you stick it in the thing or you hand it to the waiter and they give you stuff, right? So you have a 30-day window
To pay it back.
of enjoying
Yep.
that
30
credit
days of
limit.
freedom.
So within the first 5 days, you've maxed out the card, and you go in somewhere and you swipe it, and they go denied, and you're like, "What does that mean?"
Well, I
And
need
you're
to
like,
call him to get, I need to get my line extended.
Denied? How can I be denied?
I just got this.
Right?
Yeah.
So then they're like, oh, you maxed your credit limit. What does that mean?
You max your credit limit, so therefore you can't spend any more money. You need to pay out the remaining balance, if not the bare minimum payment, by the end of the 30 days.
Okay, so I gave you a $250 credit line,
Yeah.
and you spent all $250 plus some because you were just denied. And that means what?
You're in debt.
You have a
$250,000.
maxed out
So you're saying,
credit card.
You're saying it's over $250.
That's what it means. You have a maxed out credit card. You can't go any further, right? Okay, so you have a 30-day grace period. What does a grace period mean?
Does that mean you get like an extra 30 days? Like to pay off the remaining balance or bare minimum?
It's the time they give you to
Kind of get your
pay
money
back,
together?
do your transactions, pay back.
So here's how it works. So I'm the credit card company. I'm your buddy. I'm giving you $250 credit line. That means I'm paying $250 of your debt of whatever you're spending it on. So I'm your buddy. If you pay me that back within 30 days, which is a grace period, 30 days, I'm not going to charge you any interest. So you spent $250, you give me $250, we're even, no interest. What happens if you don't pay me any money after the grace period?
That's when interest happens.
Now, interest going to happen. Doesn't matter if whatever's there after the 30 days. So if you max out 250 and then you paid 100, you're still going to pay interest on $150 because it's
Correct.
past the grace.
Because you
period.
went past the grace period. So you paid $100. You didn't pay me all the money back.
Yeah.
You paid me some of the money. So whatever money is remaining, I'm charging you a transactional fee for letting you borrow the $150. How do I come up with what that fee is?
Log into your account.
No, in the beginning.
This is why I have two guys here. I got one that is
Log into your account.
almost 30, so
Yeah.
he's getting his stuff together.
Just learned. I just
learning.
learned.
And then I have someone who hasn't learned yet. So that's why this is a good dynamic group. Okay, so you have no clue. So I'm just going to say $150 is what I loaned you. So now pay me $500.
See, that,
He's looking at me with this blank look.
He's like,
No,
what are you talking
Okay, so now,
about? Yeah.
so what decides how much I charge you on top of the $150 that you owe me?
Yeah, so what happens is in the beginning when you first started,
yeah.
when you get your credit card, they say, hey, you're approved. Here's your credit card, $250, 25% interest. Let's say 25 to make math easier. So it's 25%
Interest.
interest. So let's
So
just say,
interest is how much that fee is going to be on top of it.
right.
That's
So-
what interest is.
So if you pay, so let's say for easy math,
Yeah.
you use 125 that first month and pay back the minimum, which was 25. Let's just say you do 25. Your interest is going to be, once again, your total balance that you owe is going to be 125 at the end of the month, even though you just paid 25 because your interest was 25%. So there's $100 left. That's the balance due. And then there's 25% interest. So then you're paying 25% of 100.
Well,
which
your
is 25.
APR is your annual percentage rate. So if you carried that $100 over for a year, it would be $125. That's the 25% interest, right? So they don't have a monthly percentage rate, which would be an MPR. They
Yeah.
do it by annual basis, APR. So
Wait,
that's
what?
they
So
call
what
it.
do they charge you in a month? The interest fee.
The APR is an annual percentage rate. So if you carried that debt load for 12 months, that's the total interest that you would pay.
It's
So
125.
for $100 for the year is $25.
Oh, that's not bad.
Well, it's not bad, but the problem is that the only fee that they
Oh,
have?
yeah, no.
No.
Okay, so now your 250 just went to 285.
Yeah.
Okay,
Without making a, because you didn't make a
because you didn't
payment
make a payment, so now it's late.
the first 30
Now
days.
you have interest going on top of it. So let's just say add $10, right? So or $5-6, whatever it actually comes out to. So now your 250 worth of fund
$2.5
is
million.
now creeping up to 300.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
ASAP.
if you didn't pay that 300 or even started paying, now what happens?
It's just going to keep going up and up and up. And before you know it, your credit score is going to be the bottom of the ocean.
Okay, so your credit card is basically based on your credit score, right? So your credit score is made up of a number sequence that goes from, let's say, 300 to 800, right? It goes a little bit higher and it kind of play around. Most people are in the 500 to 750 range is kind of the numbers that they look at. That number is based on you as a person. If I gave you $1 million, what are the chances of you giving me $1 million back? So if you had a 800, that would be 100%. I'm going to give him the money and he's going to give it to me back.
Yeah.
If you're at the bottom of that score
Justin.
at 300 or 400 and I gave you $1 million, what does that mean?
You're not going to see your money.
I'm not.
I mean, you are. You want to take a long time.
It's going to be phone disconnected.
So,
I'm just playing.
so here's how it works. So that score is basically telling that bank or the lender
You're not responsible.
if you're responsible or not.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so the way that credit's broken out is one, the length of time that you've had a credit card.
But what if you had that one credit card, $500 limit, but you had it for 3 years? One credit card.
They wouldn't have you there for 3 years with $500 debit. I mean,
No, if
500.
you're paying on time, it would already be $2,000 or $3,000, and then by that time you would have bought a car or you would have got something else that would give you 2 or 3 other lines
multiple
of credit.
lines, yeah.
No, I thought when you get a credit card and they say we'll start you off at $300 for your balance.
Yep.
And then you throw another $100 on, or $200 on, then you go to $500. You're telling me the credit card company would just say, you know what, you're good on your payments every month. We'll give you $1,000 limit.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 2 ways. So let's just say
What you're talking about is a
secure
secure card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the best way
Yeah.
to build credit at the beginning, if you have no credit basis, no one will give you $1, you start getting denied on credit cards, is to get a secured credit card.
That's
So
what I
you
did.
give them $250, they will give you a $250 line of credit.
Oh, okay.
So now what happens is they're holding 250 of your dollars, meaning I couldn't trust you. So I put $250 in my pocket, and now I'm going to loan you $250 on a credit line. So when you default and don't pay me, I've already got the $250 in my pocket to cover it. So that's what a secured credit card is. So I'm going to let that play out, and hopefully you're going to build off of that. And if you've paid me on time and everything's good, after a year, I'll give you that $250 back,
And then you got $500.
and then I'll give you a $500 credit line, so that way you have something to build off of. But that way you started with a secured card, so that works, right?
I did that. It worked. It worked amazing.
So the way this actually lines up is it's the length of credit that you've had. So my oldest credit lines are 20 years old.
Wait, hold on.
Right?
Back in the days, like not back in the days, like the good old days, but
Yeah.
just a couple years back, you could add someone to your credit card and then,
Piggy bank.
yeah, and they would get some of your points. They
So
stopped doing
if
that.
I had
right?
a card for 20 years and I wanted to build his credit up, I could sign him on as a user,
Right.
and it would show that he had that credit card for 20 years.
Right, and they stopped doing
They
that.
stopped doing that.
Dang.
The other
that's
thing that-
dumb.
Dog, my dad tried to put me on. My dad tried to add me like that, like
Yeah.
when we first, like when I
Man,
first.
your dad wouldn't trust you with no credit
Yeah,
card.
he did. Nah, he did. He wanted me to build my credit as soon as I was 18, but as soon as he added me to his credit card,
He saw the first transaction you did, and he took the card back.
nah, this was my, and I kid you not, my dad gave me and Jackie.
Yeah.
He put us in his credit card because he wanted us to start building credit.
Right.
He put me and Jackie, which was my wife, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, what up, Jackie? So he added us to his account.
So he showed you the card that he was going to give
Yeah.
you. He tore it in
Yeah.
half.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
That's exactly what he did. He was like, look, this is your first credit card. He's like, this is your credit card. They're like, I don't think you'll pay me back.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'm gonna, and then he was like, I'm gonna keep, yeah, he was like, I'm gonna keep these and I'm gonna tear this up. They're like, I just want to add you guys here to give
To
you
build
guys
your credit.
some points.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, he was like, I just talked to the credit card people. You guys are not gonna get any of my points because they stopped doing that.
Yeah.
So you guys are off my account.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, all right, man.
And it happens. So the other thing that actually happened, and this was over Obama, and I really didn't know that this had happened either, is I went to get a credit card for you or Adam. I can't remember which one. And when I went to do the credit application, and I was co-signing, they said, well, your son doesn't have a job. I said, well, no, he's a student. They said, we can't give him a credit card. So, and the thought process behind this is correct. If you don't have a job, to pay the credit card, why should you have a credit card? You shouldn't. So I added you and Adam on as users to my credit card, but like he said, it wasn't piggybacked. But that way the bank was covered because they knew I was the one who was actually signing off on the account. And then that's how it worked.
My dad never needed to add me to his account because we have the same name.
Well, there's always that.
Yeah, so we got the exact same name.
So credit score
That's a double win.
is based on the length that you've had the credit, right? A 20-year window. It's based on you paying. Are you late? Do you pay on time? How much credit lines do you currently have? Meaning, do you have $100,000 available to you at any given moment? And if you do, how do you spend it?
If you do, how much can I borrow?
So, again, I gave you $1 million that you have access to that you could pull tonight. You could go to the banks and pull that money. Are you going to do that? And if you do you pay us back? That's how they look at it. So they don't want you to be using your credit lines. And then if they do see you pulling your credit lines, that you pull it and then you pay it down. You pull it and then you pay it down. So I might even pull $10,000 or $20,000 for the company, and then a month later I pay it off. And why do I pay it off within a month?
So you don't get hit with interest or the late fees.
Correct.
So
So
there's no late fees. Late fees if you don't pay it.
yeah,
Interest fees.
correct.
Interest.
So I want to pay it off in 30 days to make sure I don't have to pay any interest. And then I definitely want to pay on time, because if I don't pay on time, it's going to hit my credit score, which is going to make it go down. And then if my credit score goes down, my interest rates go up.
So how does that work? Let's say if you had a limit for $1,000, max on your credit card.
Yep.
But you've been late on a couple payments, or you're just not really reliable. Your credit score drops.
Yep.
Does that mean your $1,000 on the credit card, does that drop also, or pretty much that's just all you're going to be for?
Nah, they don't really go back on it.
It's a downward spiral. Okay, so I'll give you an example. A president of a company that I knew that had an American Express account. They were running into a cash flow scenario, and he was putting everything on his credit cards.
Yeah.
But every month he was paying it off, so they were happy. And he was even paying it off 2 and 3 times in a month. So he might have a $10,000 limit, and he was paying that off 2 and 3 times a month. So he was putting $30,000 worth of stuff on his credit card, which is fine because it's interest-free, and he was able to float money that way. He defaulted on one of the monthly payments. He had 3 different American Express accounts. One was a business account, one was a personal account, and then like a gold or a platinum or something. And they locked the other 2 accounts. So because he defaulted on one account, they basically made it to where he defaulted on all 3 accounts and then locked them all down.
Default means you miss a payment.
Missed a payment, yep. And what happens is now, because those 3 credit limits dissolve, so now your available credit drops, you have a late payment, now all of a sudden you're not going to be able to get a new credit card because they're going to see that you freshly defaulted on a card and another card just shut it down. So then it just keeps going down and down and down and down. The problem with credit is, and I didn't realize this back in the day when I was paying cash for everything, credit makes you pay more if you have bad credit. So let's say you're going for car insurance. So I go for car insurance. They look at your vehicle history, right? And they're like, oh, okay, you've had one wreck. It's not that bad. Da, da, da. Nowadays, they've been pulling credit reports as well. So if your credit report is bad, you're going to pay more.
That's true.
Especially now as he's like buying a house, is they run your credit when they're looking at your homeowner's insurance. Well, now all of a sudden you're going to pay a higher rate because your interest is lower.
Me and my neighbor, he makes more than me.
Yep.
Or so he says. I don't know, he could be lying.
Yeah.
But he makes.
He's just bragging. He's like, how much you make? I make twice that.
Yeah. No, I ain't telling him what I made. I work at McDonald's, bro. But he pays 0.75% more than me.
Interest
A month on his house. We just got a house. So he's paying like $110 more than me a month. And it was
only based on that credit score.
And it was only based off his credit. Which means I'm saving $125 a month because our house is worth the same.
So that's $1,000 a year.
That we're
15
saving.
years is $15,000.
But it's a 30-year
Just because
fix.
that score was just a little bit off. So $30,000 over 30 years.
Yeah. Because my points were a little bit better than his.
So when you look at, like, if you're looking for car insurance and you call around, but you got bad credit, and then this person's looking for car insurance, same vehicle and everything in a year, you're going to be
You're
paying,
gonna pay more.
I'll pay more just because of my credit
Yep.
score.
Well, the other
And-
thing is, let's say you move to a apartment
Yeah.
and you go, oh, okay, well, I need to get the electricity turned on, and I need to get Comcast
Security
turned on, I need to
deposit
get
for
this.
everything.
They'd be like, oh, okay, well, we just have to run your credit. Oh, your credit's horrible. Oh, well, your deposit's $200. If your credit was good,
No deposit.
no deposit.
My dad told me about that earlier.
They'll be there to hook up in Tuesday. You're like, yeah.
Yep. Even like
So,
when
like, so you move into an apartment, your new house, and you want to get Spectrum or something hooked up.
Yep,
But your credit's garbage, so you're gonna have to pay the $175 deposit fee.
yep,
But if you had good credit, they would just, oh yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there at mid next week, and you ain't gotta pay nothing.
correct.
I
Oh,
mean, they
just-
still be there mid next week on both. on
Yeah,
both.
but
Yeah.
one you pay, one you don't.
yeah.
Yep.
Because they don't have to worry about you
What?
belling out on the bill.
Because they know you're going to take care of it.
Yeah.
They know you're going to pay it,
Okay.
right? And this is very important. When you're cleaning up your credit and you
Everybody
pull your
pay
credit
attention,
report.
pay
yes,
attention.
Yes.
Oh,
Pay
I am.
attention.
You pull your credit report and you see what's on there. And being broke actually has leverage. And a lot of people don't understand that. So I've got, let's say, a
Yep.
credit card that was $250 that now I owe $1,000.
Not registering in my head.
And I've got a $300 Blockbuster bill that
Yeah.
is 10 years old, right? Well, actually, after 7 years, all this stuff writes off, right? So after 7 years, they can't collect it, right? There's
know what
different
happens.
rules for different states, but at 7 years, it's bad debt and it
Nothing
just
is
writes
over
off.
with.
It's
They
gone.
lost.
And then it goes off your credit score.
Goes off your credit score. So most thing usually is like 3 or 4 years that it's been late. It may be something you just didn't know you had. You moved from one house to another. They didn't have any forwarding contact, whatever. But usually they're going to come after you for debt.
It doesn't affect your credit score. It affects your credit history.
Correct.
It comes off your history.
So you pull this report and it shows 3 or 4 things on there that are late, and you contact them and you say, okay, look,
I want to settle.
I owe you $1,000 for this credit card. It was only a $250 credit limit. Yes, I was late. Yes, you've added all these ridiculous fees. What can we make a settlement for, right?
I had to do that.
In my case, I had, if you added everything up, it was like 5 or 6 different things. It was like maybe $3,000 worth of debt that had destroyed my credit. So I got my tax return of like, I don't know, $1,800, something like that.
Ballin'.
Oh yeah. Well, of course, when you're broke, it's like, phew, lotto, you know. So I literally called every single one of them, every single one, and I said, "Here's my situation. I'm trying to pay off my credit. I only have X amount of dollars. So whoever gives me the biggest discount is who's getting paid. That's where I'm at."
I respect
So-
that.
I called them, and the collection agency for Blockbuster was like 50% off. I was like, this is going great. The guy says, oh, okay, well, you have to make that payment right now, today. I said, no, I'm not doing that. He says, well, what do you mean? I said, first off, I'm calling everybody that I owe, and whoever gives me the biggest discount is the ones that I'm paying. Second thing is, you have to send me something in writing that says you're agreeing to this. Because if not, what they do is they say, oh, okay, I'll go ahead and do 50% off. You send them that 50% off, let's say on a debit card or a credit card, and then they send you a letter that says, oh, you still owe me the balance.
Yeah, that happened to us too.
So you don't ever want to, I want it in writing that you're going to take a settlement, and I'm going to take care of it once you send me it in writing. Now, nowadays, of course, digital, hey, I can send you an email that has that in
Yeah.
it. And then once you get that, no problem. You call them back, you make the payment, you settle the account, and then you make sure it comes off your credit.
But we talking about the good old days.
But literally, I went through all of those things, and I don't even think I spent the whole $1,500 or $1,800. I think I ended up settling $3,000 worth of debt for like $1,000. And they were like, yeah, okay, we'll do this. But the accounts had been
Someone's a
dead.
good talker.
For a
Josh was
window.
like, honey, grab the kids. We're having Mexican.
Yeah, it was about, we can afford Golden Corral.
Yeah.
Only once.
Yeah.
Only once.
Adam and Justin say you guys are the same guys.
But now on the other side, when you climb out of that spiral, when you go to buy a car, it's not, I hope I get approved. You know you're going to get approved.
And
You,
what car do I want?
you know your credit score is 750 to 800. And then you go in there and the little finance guy's like, oh, well, you know, just today I can get you in that car for $3,000 down and 14% interest.
Don't do
And you're
it.
like, what? I can look online right now, and with my credit score at 800, I can get 3.75 interest. Why would I sign up for 14%? And what he's hoping for is you don't know what you're doing, and he's going to slide one of those deals to you, right? But if you know what you're doing, you're going to say, I'm not signing that. He's going to go, but that's the best I can do. And you go, I can contact my bank and get a better interest. And then 5 minutes later, he'll walk out and go, yeah, I called, I did some favors. I got you 4%. Yeah, it's where I should have been at the beginning. Why'd you try to, but that's what they do.
Justin would have been like, 40%, yeah.
Man, what do I sign?
I get to drive that pretty red car home
Right now?
today?
Let's do
Perfect.
it. Yeah, let's do it.
You need me to sign anything else?
I'm on the road.
Man, it's going to be a good Monday.
But here's what happened. Everybody goes through the same scenario. I went through the scenario. He went through the scenario. You're going through the scenario. Our cameraman back there is going through the same scenario.
Yeah.
It's just how it works. But you have to realize credit is important because you will not be able to go as far as you want to go without credit. And as long as you're doing the right thing, you should have good credit anyways.
Yeah, but for you, you already have a secure card, right?
I did.
So what do you got now? You just got a maxed out credit card?
I did. I don't know what it is anymore.
Okay, so
Lend this man $500 to take out 50 from his paycheck, man.
Justin did the typical. I'm 18. I have a job. Give me a credit card, and
I wasn't mature enough.
he messed that credit card up. So he paid that credit card off, and he was rebuilding his credit. He got a secured credit card, and he was doing pretty good. And then he messed that credit card up. So now he's
did do that. True story.
almost got that card paid off, right? And then we'll wait a couple of months, and then we'll get another secured card, and then we'll try it again.
Yeah.
That's just life.
I think I'm more mature now for a credit card.
That just happened last month.
Hey, man, relax with that. That was at least a month and a half ago.
Man, why you always talk about my past?
Man, for real, that's my past. This is new justice.
That's so funny. We were about to start talking about credit, and he was just like, "Wait, hold on, hold that thought. I'll be right back."
I have the perfect candidate. Okay,
Hey, here
so
comes
so
Justin.
now you've been in this conversation. We've had this little back and forth. So
How important is credit?
how important is
Very
credit?
important. If you want to get an apartment, a house, a car, a good credit score, well, take care of your credit.
Don't want to pay deposits.
Don't want to pay deposits, late fees. Don't want to pay interest. You don't want
And
your
then
rates to be too high.
The best thing is that with the secure card, my secure card went from 300 to 2,000.
Did you put the remaining balance, or they just upped you?
Wait, no, 3,000. No, I put down 300, and by the end of the year, 1 year later, I was 1,500, and then 3 months after that, they put me up to 2,000. So in 15 months, I went from 300 to 2,000. And now that same credit card, that was my secure card. Now that same credit card right now, 7,500. I still have it. It
Did
went
you
from
write
a
a book
secure
on how you
card
did
to a
that?
huh?
Did you write a book on how you did that? Because I will read every page.
Yeah. So it was easy. So what happened was same thing. I was spending more than I had.
Yeah.
So it was like I'd put 1,000 on the credit card and now to pay 400.
Okay,
put
so
another
you're
1,000.
trying to build your credit. What type of stuff do you put on your credit card?
I'll put everything on my credit card. Me.
Okay,
So-
so like a big screen TV, some
Papa
new
John's.
clothes, some $200 kicks.
No,
I mean,
no, you don't want to do that. Let me tell you. You want to tell me how I fix my credit?
Yeah.
Well, this is not the government way.
Okay, don't go that way.
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
before he's like, well, I know a guy.
I know a guy that-
and,
Nah,
you know,
nah,
he
what
works
happened
at
was is-
TransUnion.
Leave Bob
and-
out of it, bro. Leave Bob out of it.
No, I'm just kidding. Now, what happened was I was putting everything. Do your monthly expenses that you're going to spend regardless, like your gas, your groceries,
Yep.
your
Phone bill.
your utility bills, like, everything that is your
Can
monthly.
take a credit card
Yeah,
that is your required
Yeah.
monthly payment.
right.
Do that.
Yeah, and then you're going to pay that off at the end of the month. That also helped me because I saw how much I was spending on dumb things. Like, dang, I
Yeah, they
spent.
got categories for
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. So then
Mine
you'd be
was
like,
that big for food.
yeah, mine too. Yeah, mine too. So we started saying like, yo, we tripping. So it took like 2 years though once I fully understood credit to I don't use my debit card at all unless I need to take cash out. But all my stuff goes on credit card. But at the end of the month, I pay everything off.
All right, so credit, important. Straighten yours up. He straightened his up. I straightened mine up.
So
You
hurry
need
up,
credit
catch
to
up.
succeed.
And it's funny, we're all kind of like 10 years apart.
Yeah, there's your gaps.
That makes me feel better.
Yeah, smart,
Well,
somewhat
I think a
smart,
lot of people think.
not so smart.
Hey, man. AM, bro.
I think a lot of people are almost like embarrassed that they're in that bad of debt, but you just have to clear it up. So if you have $10,000 in credit card debt with, let's say, 6 credit cards, which one do you pay off first?
Wait. So you got $10,000.
You have $10,000 on credit cards, and
Okay.
let's say you got a half a dozen credit cards. Which ones do you pay off first?
The one with the highest, interest rate.
The highest interest rate. Literally pull all of your statements aside. Whichever one has the highest interest you're going to pay minimum on 3 or 4 of them, and the last 1 or 2 with the highest interest rate is where you put all of your money, because that's where you're losing all of your money is the highest interest rate.
I was doing that, and I was going to which one can I pay off with 3
That was
chunks
my
or less.
mindset.
3 chunks or less, like 3 payments or less. But when I did the math going back, I
Yep.
should have just attacked the
Highest interest rate.
highest interest
That's
rate.
the fastest way to kill it.
Because I still,
Because
even
you're
I did it
bleeding
my way.
out so bad
Yeah.
on that high interest.
So you can pay off, half a dozen credit cards. You pay off 3. That's the lowest payments.
No.
Or lowest interest rates.
No, fool.
Highest interest rate.
Highest.
No, I'm saying if you paid off the lowest interest. No. No, yeah, you're right.
If you paid off the lowest interest rates first,
No, cut that.
if you pay the lowest interest rates off, that's like saying, I'm going to pay the lowest penalties first.
Yeah.
Pay whatever's giving you the biggest penalty
Right.
first,
Yeah.
and then pay off the lowest penalties.
Okay, now I see what
That's
you're
what you
saying.
do.
So what are you going to do today after you get off of work?
Well, I already know which one's high.
Well, he's already done that.
I
So
know,
literally,
yeah, I
we
know.
just got paid a week ago, or a couple, and he literally said, I'm putting my whole check into this credit card to pay it off. So he already knew what he had to do, and that's what he
Yeah.
did.
I wrote
We
it
just
down.
got paid on Thursday.
I
Yeah.
know, I only had it for
So
about
he's
20
broke,
minutes.
and it's Tuesday, 3
Well,
days
it's not
later.
broke. I'm just not rich.
Oh, okay.
Glass half full, glass half empty.
Depends how you look at it. It's okay.
Wallet half full, half empty. I got you.
We're all broke. Look, luckily the staging area, there's a lot of like room. So if you ever just lose your house, you can just pull a mattress and sleep.
I never had a
Oh, I
problem.
got me a 10 on me crazy. That's on one of my credit cards, just in case I can't pay something 1 month.
He's got a tent.
He put a 10 on one of his
Okay.
credit cards.
You don't understand.
We'll leave it
man.
at that.
He said,
All right, AFI, talking
Hey.
about credit.
Has anybody seen Josh?